Listen up, you freaks. We're doing a massive sex toy giveaway this video, so stay tuned for more details. What's the tea, everybody? It is officially Mistress Monday, y'all's favorite day of the week. And you know what? I'm going to address the elephant in the room. We have to have a moment of silence for last week's video. She was yanked off the channel. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was only a matter of time. I have been banned from every social media platform literally out there. I cannot behave, I cannot follow rules to save my life. But you know what? YouTube messaged me and they're like, we're going to give you another chance. You need to chill out. What you did, completely out of pocket. And I was like, you know, I reflected on it. I reflected and I was like, do I think it was inappropriate? No. Do I think it was raunchy? Maybe. Will it be re-uploaded? Yes. But the thing is, not here. So eventually, I'm gonna upload it on my Patreon. When I start my Patreon, that'll be one of the first exclusive contents available. I will just say this, and it's the last thing I'll say on the legendary Lost video now. She was a good video. It was a funny video. It was one of my most popular videos. 40K views in like 2 hours, clocked that tea. She was deleted for a reason. That video was just very dark-sided. And you know what? I'm glad she was taken down because that doesn't represent who I am and what I do. She'll be back soon. Speaking of lost media, people thought I was just joking and like people always think that I'm just trolling. I actually have been sick this entire last week. I don't want to assume that I'm sick because I tried vegan for the first time. Not vegan food, a vegan man. And I think my body rejected his DNA. This entire week I have been deathly ill. You know, throughout the week I normally will be filming my videos. I'm usually ahead of schedule, but not this week. So with that being said, in order to give myself a little break this week while my team and I recoup from this week's chaotic energy, enjoy the first podcast where I get to chat with one of my favorite dolls, Monet Exchange. We cut up, we kiki, we have a motherfucking good time. Next week, you can be expecting me, myself, and I, and all the full chaotic shenanigans. Like, comment, subscribe, do your big one. So with that being said, before we jump right into the podcast, here's a message from today's video sponsor. Listen up, everybody. This message is for all the he, she, we, they, them, vegan, vegetarians, non-binary, gay, bi, pan, everybody out there. This message is for you. My friends at Closet and I are literally sending out free sex toys and gift cards for toys to anyone who enters my giveaway. All you have to do is click the link in the description, enter your email, and check your inbox for your gift from Closet and I. Now, if you're anything like me, you're a good Christian woman who's saving yourself for marriage. My man was starting to get upset with me because I wasn't putting out, and that's when I knew I had to do something about it. Let me introduce you to my secret weapon. We have Blow and the P-Vibe Flicker. Now, Blow is gonna do exactly what she says she is. She gonna and all that good juicy stuff, but we gotta keep it PG, so let me just show you what she's about. When I show you this, it's gonna be looking like the inside of someone's ushy gushy, so don't be afraid. Use your imagination. Y'all see that? That's what the inside of Eleanor's throat be looking like. When she says blow, she's not joking. Listen to this. But listen, she has so many intensities, she gonna get you right together. And the P-Vibe Flicker, let's just say she gonna be treating you like your bestie, the good old board and milk cow. She gonna get you together. Listen to this. Yes. Now they're both amazing on their own. I mean, they're both high tech with so many different settings, so many intensities. They're gonna get you right together and make sure your experience is enjoyable. But when you combine them, baby, mind blown. Toys are perfect for spicing things up. Whether solo or as a couple, you gotta keep things fresh and you gotta keep yourself and your partner entertained. And don't lie, you know you're curious, but don't worry, Closet got you covered. Check out the link in the description to get your hands on some mind-blowing toys. And special shout out to my friends over at Closet for sponsoring today's video. Now, let me go take care of myself and my man, okay? Yes. What's the motherfucking tea? If you are listening to this right now, that means you are tuned in for the first episode of Clock That Tea with MIB. The time has come to cut up, kiki, and act a complete fool. My first guest needs no introduction. She is one of St. Lucia's many millionaires and one of my favorite bald people. Trixie, Katya, Angina, Bob, they could never. This is the most beautiful bald bitch. But let's cut up and spill some tea with the one and only Monet Exchange.
Oh
What's the
God.
motherfucking tea, Monet?
What a fabulous introduction. I don't think anyone's ever introduced me so fabulously before. I appreciate that.
You know, it's the drag queen hosting me. I feel like I literally, even though we are not in front of anyone, I feel like we're in front of millions. You know what I mean? I had to really bring you on. And I'm the kind of girl who I have to hype up the guests because, baby, it's time to just get into it and, you know, act a fool.
Wait, talking about hosts, did you host shows back in Houston? Were you a host?
Yeah, so you know what? With drag queens in Houston, we do literally everything. Like, if you have some money to give, if you have a check, I definitely have a talent.
Right.
And I think, like, towards the end of my drag career with like before I got on Drag Race, I would really start hosting shows. But the problem with Houston drag and with just like the drag scene in Texas in general, everything is so like grandfathered in. Like, do you have the queen hosting the show who has been doing drag?
Doing the same shit for mad long. You gotta wait till them bitches die.
No, literally, they're like, it's the girls who've been doing the same show, hosting the same gig for like 30 years.
Yeah.
But, you know, I love and respect it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, New York City kind of is that too. It's actually no. New York City, the drag scene has changed so much even since I left. But like when I was in the city, like you don't really see people hosting shows for decades. That's a little crazy. Maybe for like 3 or 4 years, and then the bar will like switch it over and try something new. So New York is kind of ever changing like that. But even now, like, no shade, like in this new season 16, I don't know any of the New York girls. I don't know a single one of them. Like, I think I maybe had seen Tsunami Muse like once or twice in LA. But I don't know her per se. And it's just like so crazy how these bitches who are like, are now like the mainstays in New York. They weren't even maybe thinking about drag when I was, you know, in the city bombing around, sucking at Monster and doing crazy shit. It's kind of crazy.
Girl, I mean, I feel like drag is just so different everywhere. And like, for like you said, like New York kind of like reinvents itself. Like there's no one hosting the same shows for decades. Baby, Houston, Texas, they will have the same show with the same cast, and they literally like would maybe change the show name. Like it's literally the same girl, and yes, and you're gonna see the same girl like go through the same 3 numbers she does. But that's just like how it is and how it's been. But I think things are finally starting to like slowly change, and it's kind of like you said. Like I returned from like my whole Drag Race journey, and I came back a year later, and I feel like I don't even know Houston drag anymore. Like it's a whole bunch of new girls, and you know. It's exciting to see how different things can be, but I don't know if you have the same sentiment, but it's like you miss the drag that you grew up on and like you feel like you started with, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just like, yeah, it is forever changing, but you know, we're blessed to be the girls they look up to.
Yeah, for sure. But Houston, like, I think I only worked even since Drag Race, not even since Drag Race, I've only worked in Houston once, I think, at Riches. And I've done major tours there. Like I did Work the World there twice, and I've done Murray and Peter Christmas tour and other tours like a couple times. But like for a solo gig, I think I've only worked at Riches and one other place. I can't remember the other place. But I had a good time. Houston was cute. The last time I was there was this past September. I took a few friends to go see Beyonce at the Renaissance.
I saw a bitch. She was girl. Well, first let me start off with this before we even dive into the whole Beyonce craze, because I'm sure that's about to take up all the time we have. But that's like the crazy thing about Houston drag is like Drag Race has been on now for what, like 15 years, if not more. And I was the first queen from Houston, Texas to be on Drag Race.
That's crazy.
And before and Texas drag in general is so big. Like Texas is like a drag staple, especially like with pageantry and a bunch of other shit.
Right.
And I feel like with Texas drag, they don't really feature the Drag Race girls because they like, we have those old nasty queens. I don't know if y'all have this in like New York, but those old nasty queens are like, I don't watch Drag Race.
Oh,
that's
girl.
not real drag. So it's like very that girl. They're not booking no Drag Race girls, but it's good to finally see things slowly changing. But baby, we was about to hop on that topic because I came back from Work the World and I saw you were in Houston out with Beyonce. Girl, what's the tea? Why wasn't I invited? Where was my invitation? Now you're starting to act like Bob when she went to go. No, now you're starting to act like Bob whenever she invited everyone but only took Aquaria. It's for Madonna. That's crazy.
I saw that. So when I was just at home minding my business and I saw that Aquaria was doing Madonna and I was like, oh shit, I wonder like where the other girls were. And I mean, listen, Bob is a very nasty lady, and I'm pretty sure she put a little bee in Madonna's ear, and she was like, they have a few Drag Race girls here, but I think we should only have Madonna. Like, he literally texted me that and told me that. He's like, girl, should I invite the other girls? And I was like, I mean, I think you should, especially Mistress. Like, I love Mistress. He's like, nah, I think I only want to feature Madonna. So like, that's literally what he told me.
No, and that's kind of what I figured. And the thing is, like, me, Vanjie, and Candy, we were so excited to not only see Madonna, but really just be there to support Bob because we're trying to be a good sister. And the fact that she only invited Aquaria, that was just very interesting to me.
Yeah, it was
like,
really dirty.
But is Bob really known? I'm about to ask, is she known to be like that? Like, you know her better than I do. I know you're forced to work with her. Like, is she known to be nasty, conniving? Like, what's the tea?
I mean, all those and more. Like, I mean, it's been years, and I think one day there is going to be an expose, some type of like book, some type of revelation, some film about Bob's and his very deleterious actions and his behavior. I know it's going to come to light, and one day I'm going to find my voice and be able to really speak about it. But for right now, I'm not going to say too much, but just know that a lot of the behaviors that the general public and the Drag Race fandom at large is witnessing of Bob's very conniving behavior is real, and I can't wait for him to be exposed one day. I really can't.
So basically what you're saying is they need to be on the lookout for the Surviving Bob the Drag Queen documentary coming very shortly.
1,000%. No, that's my sis. I love her.
Girl, please. It's Clock the Tea with MIB. You gotta spill it. Let's be honest. Here's my thing. Okay, and people always ask me, where did the beef with Bob the Drag Queen start? So we gotta go back to the beginning of my season.
Yeah, tell me.
I have thick skin, like not physically. Physically, I have beautiful, soft, supple skin. But you're on Drag Race. It's your big moment, and I really am not. Let's start here. Are you one of those girls who like, I don't read the comments, or do you indulge in the comments? Be honest.
Oh, I indulge in the comments, but like I got a reputation from pretty early on as someone who would clap back, and like I don't mind telling you to your grandmother and like she should die tomorrow. Like I don't like if you're gonna come for me, I'm gonna respond. I read them and I respond. Not all the time, but often.
Period. But are you giving like funny clap back? Are you going like full on Kennedy Davenport and being like yourself? Like,
there is a range. Like I will meet you with the energy you meet me at. But sometimes I'm in a very petty mood and I'll like just like clock you and like make fun of you and be silly about it. But if like I'm in a day when I'm on like I haven't been home for a week and a half and I'm tired and I'm on the 6 a.m. flight, and I just happen to scroll past a really shady comment of you saying something shady, I'm skipping all the niceties, all the jokes, and I'm telling you to yourself. Like I am that girl.
Girl, I feel like I indulge in the comments, but I try not to reply too much because I also don't want to give them the satisfaction of knowing I read their comments. But I've been doing this thing lately where like if I see a hate comment on like Instagram or something, I'll go to their Instagram and like screenshot their ugliest picture and I'll just like send it to them with laugh emojis. And like and it's kind of like it kind of gets under their skin because I'll just block them where they can't really reply. They're probably like, why is this bitch laughing at me?
Yeah.
But girl, so you're having your moment on Drag Race. Of course, everybody tells you don't read the comments, just let it be. And then I'm sitting here minding my business.
I want to say this too. There's this thing people say, don't read the comments. And people are like, bitch, you are putting your whole self on international TV internet. Like you're being vulnerable. You're talking about your life. And people are like, just like, why just don't read the comments? Like, bitch, this is my life. Like this is who I am. Like, so you telling me like not to read the comments where people are literally talking about my body, my attitude, my fashion, my taste. Like, of course I'm going to read the comments. And like, now if I engage, it's up to me. But to tell me to not read the comments, I hate when people say that shit because I'm like, bitch, this is my art and art is personal. So like telling me to not read the comments, to me, I hate that shit. Just pisses me off. I'm like, I'm gonna read the comments. Like it's about me.
I agree. Like I feel like in a perfect world you wouldn't read the comments, you would just post your content. But like you said, especially on stuff like your first time on Drag Race, like you're excited because in everyone's head they think they're that girl. So when you read those hate comments or people talking shit, you're just like, what?
Right. Yeah.
But so my season, y'all know y'all react, y'all do y'all's thing. And I think one of y'all is more qualified than the other. One of you is very beautiful in the pairing. One of you knows drag and you'll have an amazing career, lots of accolades, and one of you is Bob. But a lot of the girls in my group chat, they were like, this queen, allegedly queen, is ripping us to shreds and she's being very nasty and evil and conniving. And I was like, oh, well, I'm not really familiar with her. I didn't really know who Bob the Drag Queen was. So, I pulled up Google and there wasn't really many articles, so I had to do more of like an in-depth on Instagram. And when I finally found the video, I was like, oh, wow. And it wasn't even like, she didn't even come for me because, of course, you could never clock perfection. So I didn't have like, I wasn't personally attacked, but I did when I reviewed the footage, I saw nothing but nasty bullying towards you and many of the other girls. And that was kind of the start of the feud. I mean, would you like to give an apology on behalf of your partner to the whole cast of season 15 or what's happening?
You know, I don't tend to speak for the girls, and I think that every comment that I said, I stand by, and I still believe in everything that I said. Now, I can't speak for Bob. Bob is going to be his own bitch, and I can't wait for him to come on this podcast to talk about it. But I am curious about this, though, because when season 10 happened, like, you know, they had the official, what's the official one? That I did, Bianca did, Bob did, Pit Stop. They had Pit Stop, and I think in my season, I think Raja did it, or maybe it was, I forget who did my season. Anyway, but there weren't like a lot of Drag Race review podcasts out there. There were like one or two. Now there are like so many. So like in season 10, we didn't really have like a group chat like talking about it. So I'm really curious about like, so y'all, I mean, after our season, we had our group chat and we were talking and we were like, you know, talking about whatever. But in y'all's group chat, were people like really upset about certain comments that we would say on there? Like legitimately for real?
Girl, I feel like they're gonna get so mad that I talk about it. But I mean, you know, in the group chat, especially throughout the season, your emotions are so heightened because everything is so new and so many things are happening at once.
You're raw, bitch. You're raw. You take I took it personally, for sure. Absolutely.
It honestly was kind of giving like Mean Girls like three-way phone call because someone would put something in the group chat and then there would be like 5 new group chats pop up on the side. And they're like, what the is she talking to? Like, girl, it's a mess. But that was like the fun part of it. But I don't think anyone would get like fully upset about any comments in particular. Okay. But by y'all at least. But I will say this, since it is Clock the Tea with MIB, there were some podcasts and some people reviewing that the girls on my season were like, these girls don't know what they're talking about. All their runways on their season look like shit. So I'll let y'all do y'all's little investigation and y'all clock that tea. But I mean, okay, so let me, just because you're a Drag Race girl does not mean that you're polished or you look nice or you know anything about fashion. And I think some of these girls have these review shows and I'm like, I don't think that you're qualified to.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of the sentiment that all the girls had on my season. They're kind of like, who are you to tell me about what I'm wearing?
Well,
but I also agree with,
I am someone, like, I am not delusional. I know that on season 10 and like even someone All-Stars 4, I know that I was not have the best looks and I know that I would not have the highest match. I am under no illusions that I did, you know what I mean? So I think people were like, well, Monet thinks that she was, I'm like, I don't. I don't think that I was completely singing fierce in season 10. I know I wasn't. It was fucking terrible. Especially that goddamn feather runway. Oh my, bitch, my glitter runway on season 10, episode 8, I think. I literally still cannot watch it. I am traumatized by how fucking terrible I looked. It was gruesome. Anyway.
It's so crazy though, because I feel like when you're making your Drag Race package and putting everything together, the time span is so short that you have no time to really think about things. You just have to grab and go.
Right.
And I feel like when I went to Drag Race, I was like, my package is so perfect, bitch. I look sickening. And I still stand by like 80% of the looks, but there's some I look back on and I'm like, girl, you need your ass whooped. Like it was the absolute fool.
I mean, listen, I've said this on the podcast or whatever. I was obsessed with your package. I was obsessed with you on your season. I think you were just so funny and you looked so good. And I'm still a very big Mistress Isabelle books fan. And I mean, from the Meet the Queens until now, I just think your drag is so fab, and I'm a very big fan of you.
Oh, thank you so much, cousin. Listen, we had to come on here, and I don't even know if you realize, but we are drag cousins because your drag mother, Honey Davenport, is.
She is.
Yeah, we'll just finish the sentence there. She is. So tell me about you becoming a Davenport. Like, do you perform Get On Up? Are you doing hair whips and pageants? Like, what is Monet Exchange Davenport? What's the tea?
You know, I feel like there needs to be like a Davenport or a drag family tree so I can know what my lineage is, because I don't even know what my Davenport lineage is. Like, am I related to Kennedy? Are Kennedy and Araj and I related in?
Yes.
Are we?
Yeah. So I was actually talking to my drag mom last night, asking her about everything. So Honey Davenport is your mom, and then Sahara Davenport was her mother. So that means Kennedy would be Honey's auntie. So what would that make her to you? Is she even tied to you?
So if Kennedy is Honey's auntie, then she's my auntie too. She's my great aunt. But so Kennedy is my auntie. I mean, Kennedy Davenport is an auntie. Have you ever seen Kennedy Davenport walking around before she gets on stage? Kennedy acts like somebody's auntie, but then she gets on stage, baby. She is your little sister in some fucking Honey Boo Boo dancing, screaming, flipping. Kennedy Davenport is like a fucking chameleon. It is crazy to see how she's transformed when she gets on stage.
Girl, I love her, and her responses to everything are so ridiculous too, because she is so dry sometimes. Like I remember when I got on Drag Race, I had called her because I was so nervous, and this is how I knew. This is how you know I'm like mentally unstable. I literally called her and I was like, auntie, I was like, I think I'm about to be on Drag Race. I was like, but I need to know something. And she's like, what? I was like, I'm so scared to fail this psych eval. Like, what am I about to do? And she was like, I don't know, girl. I'm just like, oh. I love the advice. Thank you.
But let me tell you something. Aquaria passed the psyche valve, okay? You have nothing to worry about. Aquaria is a fucking Looney Tune.
I literally just spent like 2 months straight with Aquaria on Work the World, and I don't know what I expected from her, but the way she is not at all what I expected.
I
For
love
the girls
Aquaria.
at home, I love Aquaria too, but we have some stories. For the girls at home, how would you describe Aquaria backstage? And let me see if they line up with what I think.
Yeah, Aquaria is hilarious. She's just Aquaria is like the perfect storm of like this, like someone that's so intelligent and so intentional about their drag, but it's also, you get like, her mind is also like working like 19,000 steps a minute. So she's just like she's like constantly just kind of creating her head, and sometimes it comes out of her mouth and she doesn't want it to. It's like watching just a super high functioning, intelligent, like creative, just like it happened in the moment. She's great.
But do you know Mother Gina?
Oh, girl, Gina Palandrani, that's my girl. That is my
girl.
boo thing. I love her. She is, and you meet Mama Gina and you see Aquaria, you're like, oh, okay. Yes, I see how this all makes sense.
No, down. No, literally, it's like it all makes sense. The apple does not fall far from the tree at all with that one.
At all.
But I love Aquaria, that it was so fun to work with her on Work the World, and that was kind of one of my favorite things about being on Work the World, because I'm so new to like the whole Drag Race sisterhood, and this whole year I kind of was working by myself or like with other girls from my season, so it was so cool to experience the girls who have already been here and done it, and see that a lot of them are still doing it years later. Like, I mean, working with like Laganja Estranja, bitch, you were on air like what, over 10 years ago, and people still go absolutely crazy for her. So like, so you've done Work the World twice, two times of the tour.
Yes, I did it during season 10, and then I did it the following year. So I did it in 2018 a little bit, then I did the 2019 year.
Do you like themed drag shows, or do you wish you could just like do your own number? Or, like, but it was kind of more lenient back then, right?
I mean, more lenient. How is it structured now? Like, is it very strict now?
Like, okay, so like the theme this year was like Matrix theme, and everyone had to wear like only black PVC and red colors or blue colors, and like you had to do like your one song was Matrix themed, and like you kind of had to like curb your creative process to fit the mold of the show. And what I heard from the girls who have done it before, they kind of were like, we kind of just did whatever number we wanted and acted like it was like.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was the tea. Like the year before I think the year or 2 years before that, we had did it was the planets, and each planet was like a mystic power, and we just kind of like, whatever numbers you did, we just made it work. Like, because I am a show girl, my number like made sense. Like, I was the planet of magic, so I did like magic to do and like a disappearing act. Like, I was like fully like in it, and Naomi too. But some girls, it was like, girl, like Violet was. Well, I don't know what Violet was, but her number is her on she's on like a rocket, and she was like in the Lyra like doing a thing, but it didn't. I think Violet was the only one that was a little weird, but yeah, I mean, but I mean, Work the World has always been a very fun tour. Work the World was the first time I did. Like I did like a
God.
very,
Okay.
I was backstage in a, I'm not gonna say the country because that's gonna clock a lot of stuff. I did it. That's the first time I ever did a little mean. Was on Work the World.
All right, Candy Muse. Girl, when I tell okay, here. So on Work the Road, we're in the tour bus and we're crossing so many borders. You don't know how many times I wanted to strangle Candy Muse because we would cross the border and she would like, ha, they didn't catch my K. I'm like, girl, I know you fucking lying.
I mean, it's also like people understand. I mean, like you like young and you like touring and you're traveling. It's like now it's I don't want to be some like 40-year-old bitch looking crazy. So I'm like, you know what? I was young and I was like, I want to like try this thing out, and like I did it, and also it was just fun and it was cute. And I think that when you're young and you have this chance to like travel the world and do a bunch of things, like I'm all about it. And so that I'm not no like 50-year-old bitch up in the club in Gen Z, or at that point Generation Alpha clothes, trying to kick with the young kids. You know what I mean? I like to experience all the things.
So speaking of experiencing things, so when you're on the road, you're doing the tour and like hypothetical allegedly situation, like are you the type of person to hook up with fans, or like what's the tea?
No. I hate hooking up with fans. I do not like hooking up with fans. I don't. I had the first time I was on Work the World in 2018. I was in my first gig in Work the World was Belfast, Ireland. And I landed in Belfast, and this was like my first international gig too. Like I was like, this was in the middle of season 10. It was like I had just been in the bottom. So I just did the Pound the Alarm lip sync, and people were like really, really, really like going crazy. So anyway, so we get to Belfast, and I set up my grinder. I have like my boy picture and everything, and then I was like about hooking up with fans, and this guy hit me up, and we met up, and we were hanging out, and then he like came back to my hotel room with me, and then he came with me to the venue. I got ready, and then he like stayed backstage for the show, and then we get back to the hotel after the show, and I'm like, okay, now it's like I shower and and like from like 12 p.m. until like 2 o'clock in the morning, he just would not give it up. He was just talking to me about how does RuPaul smell? Is Miss Cracker really like that? Oh my God, Cameron Michaels, like just talk to me about Drag Race for 2.5 hours. And finally I was like, hey, are we gonna do stuff? Because I didn't want to, I was trying to be so precious and not be like so like blatant and like so like and we finally like did do. And this motherfucker, I found out like a week or two later that he gave me gonorrhea.
Oh my God, goodbye.
Girl, my first international Drag Race in from Belfast gave me gonorrhea, and it was fucking whack as hell. And I was from that point. And again, since then I have hooked up with fans here and there, but sometimes they get Drag Race because they're so nervous to like hook up with you. And then like afterwards, when they see you on Grindr, they've starred you, and like you're like in Seattle, and someone hits you up and like, hey, and like, wait, where are you at? I'm in Australia. I'm like, bitch, so now you just following me. Now you're stalking me, bitch. Delete, unstar me, and don't message me if I'm not in your area. So I just don't like hooking up with fans. I don't.
Wait, so have you like moved on and like learned your lesson from that? Like, because for me personally, like if I was in that situation, and even like maybe 3 minutes in, I'll be like, so are you pulling that out or what? What now?
I didn't want to like get like a bad reputation. Like I mean, now years later, I'm more direct. But back then, I didn't want to feel like I was like throwing my quote unquote celebrity around, which I wasn't a celebrity. I was just some fucking gay guy who was famous, who was gamous. And I didn't want to get that reputation, so I was trying to be a little more precious and like kind of like massage the conversation, not be so direct. You know what I mean? But now, if I hook up with a fan, it happens more organically. Like if I'm like out at a club and like something happens, but on Grindr, I like don't hook up with fans. I will like if you message me and you mentioned anything about Drag Race, I will block you immediately.
Would you hook up with a fan in drag? What if they wanted to be with Monet?
Oh, I used to hook up in drag all the time, like before Drag Race. Like in New York City, I used to hook up in drag all the time. Because in New York, like, I mean, in the South and like other cities is different because y'all have cars and shit. In New York, bitch, I'm getting on the train or like I'm going to and from the gig, like in my drag. So like outside the club, they would always be dudes like, you know, tea chasers, you know, and so they would see you outside and they'll make a little eye or they'll do a little something, and then, you know, you'll get what's up. We'll get in the Uber or get in the cab together and go to the house, and 9 times out of 10 they want you to them. And also, I've just been in drag for mad long. I'm not letting you me like so
okay, but we gotta put up the scenario though, because I need to know, like, everyone. So when the girls hook up in drag, I feel like everyone's experience is different, because, you know, there's some girls who hook up in quote unquote drag and they just throw on the wig on and have like a full beard, you know what I mean? You know, sometimes the chaser just want the fantasy. Literally, they just want you to wear that synthetic nasty Party City bob and they want you to literally start bobbing. But okay, so let's okay. So first of all, let's start here. If you're hooking up with like a straight man, quote unquote straight man, what are you looking for? Like, what's the tea? Like, what gets you going?
If you're looking for a straight man, you gotta be taller than me. You gotta be.
So he gotta be what, 8 feet? What is taller than you?
You gotta be at least 6'2" to get on this ride, and then you gotta have that's really it. Like, it's just really tall. Like you know, I have a very wide palette. I hooked up with fat dudes, skinny dudes, average dudes. Like when I used to live in New York, I used to hook up with this sexy ass fat dude from Kew Gardens in Queens. And bitch, I had my big old belly, he had his big old belly, and we were just it was just very hot. And he used to just get me all the way together. Anyway, so I have a very wide palette.
Why do I feel like you're trying to hit on me talking about fat bellies?
I mean, me and my boyfriend would invite you on
out,
in, honey.
Clock that tea. Okay, so you're outside the club. What do you wear? Like, what would be okay? So like in Texas, for instance, I've noticed that it's not the same in New York, especially from working in New York now, because y'all show up to the club in y'all's like costume, right?
Yeah, what we're going on the stage.
So in
is
Texas,
what we showing up in, girl.
Yeah, no, literally, Texas, that is an absolute no. They will like literally not let you perform.
Gag.
Like, you need to show up in a different outfit and then you change and then you go on stage and your clothes are only meant for stage. So
Gag.
what would be so we call it like tipping, like our tipping outfit. What would be your tipping outfit? Like, paint me the picture head to toe. I'm gonna close my eyes. Everyone, we're gonna use our imagination.
Okay, so I would probably walk in with like a very like a nice my tip around would be a form-fitting like dress from probably at that time from Forever 21 or H&M. I would get like a nice tight-fitting cocktail dress to show off the ass, because these straight boys, even though they want to be fucked, they want a nice ass, which I got a big old fat ass. So I got to show something that's going to show off that curve. And then I'm probably wearing a kitty cat wig, probably a blonde one to really give them exotique. Okay.
Oh wow! Now if I was trade, that would be a chop. I need me a long hair girl.
Oh really?
With a nasty synthetic like long piece. I want.
No, bitch. Have you ever tried? I mean, you have long hair, so you know the technique like naturally. Anytime I have sucked with a long wig on, it is too much. The hair is getting in my mouth. There is getting makeup on the hair. I try to put it up in one of them little banana clips. The shit don't break. Now it's I can't. One time I was sucking this dude, and you know I am a balding black man. I'm not bald, bitch. I'm balding. Okay. I was sucking this dude's in my apartment, and I'm sweating so much because it's so hot in my apartment because it's summertime, and my window unit was broken, so it's like 90,000 degrees in my apartment. So I'm sucking the and I am sweating. There is water coming from every pore that exists on my face. Okay. Now I'm wearing a synthetic bang long piece. So I'm sucking the dick. The bangs are sticking to my forehead. The hair on the side is floating in my mouth. And then he's trying to touch my head, and I'm keep on moving his hand so he's not like touching the wig, but he keeps on putting his head to like push me down. And then he pushed down too much. I don't know what happens. The water, the sweat, the wig slides off, and I had not shaved my head in like a week. So now I am balding. The wig is off, and I look up at him, and he looking back at me, and he just pushed my head down and made me finish, get him, suck him off to completion. And leave us, and then he leaves. But that was one of the most embarrassing moments because I have a little bit of a beard, some blankety lips on, Mac blankety, clock that, and I had a bang piece that was just on the floor and looking up at this man with a little blush on, no eyeliner, no nothing else, just a blankety, some blush, and now a balding head looking up at this man.
And I promise you that man lays in bed at night and just fantasizes about you. That's the thing with that's what I was saying earlier. The chasers, they're not expecting you to be like perfect. Like they literally like the fantasy. They like it to be so raunchy and nasty. Like I feel like, well, first of all, let me start here. Like if I was in that situation and you're going at it, I would be like, do you mind if I get a little more comfortable? And when he's like, yeah, just do it, shawty. Then I would take the wig off and I would like gag him. That's why you gotta make sure the lights are off. You know what I mean? But my thing is like when you're going at it, like you must not really be giving head like it needs to be given because you have to make sure the wig is pinned in. And you have to lay your head over the bed.
I don't got nothing to pin it into.
Wrap your head in some duct tape or get some spray adhesive and spray your head and stick the wig on.
Oh, that could be a new technique. That's a good idea.
Okay, wait, you're making us get out. We gotta rewind. So look, you're outside the club. I'm seeing you're tipping out for the dress from Forever 21. I'm gonna ignore that you said you was wearing a kitty cat like Deja Sky. I'm gonna imagine that you're wearing like a nice little sleek human hair wig.
Okay.
So, do you like change your voice or is this what it's given?
Oh no, honey, this is what the voice is giving. I can't change my voice.
Oh
like,
wow.
Okay, like I mean, back in the day, like I would like maybe I kind of talk like this, but I think to me,
yes,
that's
you have to be very girly.
Is that giving girly?
I mean, you're not like this. Like this is really feminine, but. That's cute. A cute attempt.
Wow. I mean, I can't. If I talk up here, I feel like a fucking Muppet. I'm like, hey, I don't like that. How does that sound? Is that cute?
Girl, okay. If I was trained, I'd be like, let's go back to don't play in my face. Okay, so I'm gonna paint the picture for you. So I pull up and I have a grill in. You know what a grill is?
Of course, I know what a grill is.
So I pull up and I have a grill.
You think I just turned black yesterday, bitch? I've been black for 32 years.
Girl, I don't know, cause I feel like having I guess I was gonna say I feel like grills in that generation of like hip hop and rap. I feel like that's a very Southern thing.
It is Southern, but it definitely made its way up to New York, and grills became a thing in New York for sure.
I love it. Okay, so I pull up. I'm wearing my grill. I have my backwards hat on, and I have my sunglasses on. Mm-hmm. And I pull up. I'm like, hey, what's up?
Hey,
what do you?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, bitch, I'm talking to you.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Daddy. What's up?
Hey, get in.
I'm in here right now.
Get in.
All right. I'm coming.
How much?
What you trying to do?
Everything.
You want to do everything tonight for real?
You got a different wig.
I mean,
girl, would you gag of trade was like you got a different wig?
Like, you can buy me one. Shit.
Okay, sis.
Okay, so if you want to do everything, if you want to do everything, that's gonna cost you 2 stacks.
Hey, I ain't got it like that, but I'll be back. Okay.
You don't got it like that. Get me the fuck out of this cheap ass Mustang bullshit.
Girl, as I'm fully in like a rented car. But I don't know. I guess the experience for everyone is kind of universal when you hook up and drag. But I feel like trade is so different. Like guys and gays are different everywhere you go.
Oh, for
like
sure.
You were in Houston for Beyonce. Did you get to taste like the Houston trade?
You know, I was in Houston for Beyonce, and so I went with a few friends, and so I did end up finding some friends in Houston. And the thing I find about Southern, well, let me not say Southern. Okay, wait, really quick. I want to say this. So Bob says that there's a difference between the South and Texas. Do you agree with this?
I could see that sentiment. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And I feel like in Texas,
because also Texas.
Go ahead, tell me.
Texas is so different. Like each little city, like Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, every bit is different from each other, and I feel like Texas is very different from this, like what people would call the South. Like I just feel like Texas is kind of like a beast on its own.
Interesting. Well, I would say the boys in Houston, when I was there for Beyonce, they were very charming, I found. I found it very charming. And when I, back in the day when I was a work the world girly, in like Austin, for example, I hooked up with some dudes in Austin, and they were very hippy dippy, and I wasn't feeling their vibes. Whereas in Houston, I felt that like Southern charm when I was there for Beyonce. I will say.
See, you have to watch out for Houston men because they're sweet talkers, and Houston men are always just trying to I feel like it's so hard to find a relationship in Houston, and to like all the gays just have all been with each other, and that's just part of the game. You know what I mean? Well, and I feel like Houston, there's trade for everybody.
Well, I will say, like, I'm not one of those people who was trying to find love on Grindr though. Like, I mean, like, I felt like Grindr was for fucking. Like, I was never on Grindr to like try to find a boyfriend or a boo. But I know so many friends who do. They're like, I'm like, how y'all met? And like, Grindr. I'm like, oh, like I know a lot of people who find boyfriends on there, but for me, I wasn't using Grindr for that. Like when I was trying to find relationships, I was, oh my God, I'm gonna date myself. Probably no one uses this anymore. But I was on like OkCupid, and then like I used Tinder for a while. And then I found my boyfriend now. We met on Hinge. So like, but on Grindr, I've never been lucky, quote unquote, to find like a boyfriend on there when I was looking back in the day.
I think that's because your Grindr display name is probably like Anonymous as up Hotel Room 104. Like I think it's all how you use the platform.
I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, my boyfriend and I are monogamous. We have had bouts of openness before. And yeah, so that's when like stuff like that has happened. But for the majority of our relationship and like currently, we are monogamous.
Do you feel like you're a late bloomer when it comes to like dating in the gay world? Because like for me, I'm 25 now, but I feel like my ideals of a relationship have changed so much.
Yeah, I agree with that 1000%. I think that I had like these perfect perceptions of what I thought a relationship was going to be like for me and how it would happen. And like you go with those ideas, but you have to realize those are your ideas. Like when you are with someone else, like you have their whole set of ideas and how they envision a relationship. And of course, to be with someone compatible, of course, some of that aligns, but you have to let a lot of it just happen and let it happen and be organically instead of trying to force a relationship into this thing like we're gonna date for a year and we're gonna be engaged at 2 and then we're gonna be married by 3. Like you just can't be like that for me. And I think that does work for some people, but also a lot of that shit is so heteronormative. Like, and again, we have us just be existing in this world. A lot of us, the majority of us, have been indoctrinated into heteronormativity since we have been babies. Like we have been growing up with that shit forever. All these fucking Disney movies, all these rom-coms, all this shit has been teaching us to be heteronormative. So now that we are finally crafting this world and adults and being able to live in this world where we can construct it to be something different that serves us and functions better for us, we have to allow the universe to let us do that and allow us to break these cycles of what these quote unquote perfect heteronormative timelines and relationships are and what they should be.
See, and that was the crazy part too about being on Work the World, because like a lot of the girls, almost everyone was booed up, but a lot of girls were open. Everyone's doing their thing.
For me, like my boyfriend and I, we weren't like open right away. Like I think not until like a year into our relationship, we tried any type of openness because I really felt, and also he did, in really coming to a place to love and trust each other and to have that and to have those moments of, babe, I miss you so much. And especially because we are working a lot and you travel and you work a lot, and to have those feelings of longing, I think those things are healthy. I think that is building trust and comfortability and building love with someone. And again, that's not for everyone, right? Like for example, like someone like Bob, since day one he's met his boyfriend, since day one they became boyfriends, they have always been open. They have never existed in a relationship that was monogamous, and that works for them, and that's fine. But I think that for each person it changes and is different, and I don't think you have to hold yourself to the standard of this rubric that these nasty, fast, work the world bitches be doing. You know what I mean? Like, that's good for them and that serves them, but you're allowed to make your own rules. Do you know, what's his name? Oh my God. John Savage. He's this very, very, very famous a gay love journalist, and he talks about love and relationships and everything. And him and his husband, they've been together for 25 years, and the openness of their relationship ebbs and flows. Like, they were monogamous for the first 5, then they were open for like the next 3, then they had kids, and they closed it for the next 4, and they and they just allow themselves to have open and honest communication with each other about those feelings. And then when they do, then they tackle it when it happens. But they don't have like a set rule of we're always open or we're always monogamous. They let their relationship dictate how they both feel and how that's going to matriculate to their coupling.
But then there's girls like Candy Muse who is fucking hooking up with someone every single day. And me and Vanjie literally had to have an intervention with her. We're like, baby, you got to manifest. You want this man, and this man is telling you that he just got ran through and bred, and you're crying, but you're doing the same thing. Clock that tea.
Yeah, girl, you gotta. But I mean, maybe Candy's like a Bob, where she wants a fully open situation, open and polyamorous.
She don't. She wants her man to be. No, she wants her man to be for her. And I told her, you got to manifest, babe.
But you also meet these girls that are like, I want to do everything that I want, but I want him to be monogamous. I'm like, well, that's not fair. And again, but that probably exists somewhere. Like, there probably is someone that is okay with their partner being completely open, doing and fucking whoever, and they're just at home being monogamous. That probably does exist, and you can probably find that somewhere. Now, will that person check all the other boxes that you want, right? Will they have a good job? Will they be self-sufficient? Will they be independent? Like, there are like someone may meet a lot of these requirements but not meet some. Like, it's just, I'm sure that person exists. You gotta just find them if that's what you want.
What are your what do you look for in a partner? What makes you fall in love?
You gotta have good hands. I'm very big into hands. Hands are very important to me. Teeth are very important to me. And you have to be motivated. You have to be someone who is self-determined and self-motivated. Like, I can't be with someone that's just at home and just like doing nothing and content with that. Because I love working. I love working. Even if I was baby Fenty tomorrow, if I was Oprah tomorrow and I was a fucking billionaire, I would still want to work a lot. Like, I enjoy working. I always have. Since I have been 18, I've always had like 2 and 3 jobs. Through college, I had a full-time job at a hotel, working overnight, doing school throughout the day. Like, I just enjoy working. So having a partner who is content with not doing that wouldn't sit well with me. I need someone who works a lot or likes to, get shit done. And
would you be with someone who wanted to do drag? Like, what if you're with your man, like, let's say you are together like 3 or 4 years, and all of a sudden he like slowly starts playing in your stuff and wants like to be your drag daughter? What do you say?
You can do drag. You cannot be my drag daughter. I am not painting you. I'm not teaching you drag. Like, if you want to take a drag, I am 1000% do your thing. But I am not becoming a drag mother. I have no desires. I hate putting people in drag. The 2 times I had to do it on Drag Race, it pissed me off. I did not like putting Tyler Oakley drag. I did not like putting my assistant Patty drag, because I'm not good at painting people, and I'm just not. It's not something I enjoy. You have people who, like, Naomi loves putting people in drag. She loves painting people. I don't like that shit.
Oh my God. Speaking of Naomi painting people, did you see when Naomi painted Rosé?
No. Did I see it? I don't think I saw that. I missed that. Why? Was it bad?
No.
Rosé has a very, what it is, Rosé is very handsome.
Rosé is a brick. Rosé is very brick-like, very handsome Squidward.
Rosé is very handsome. And so I feel like with Rosé, like, Rosé can paint herself to make herself look beautiful because she's been doing it for so long and so many years. But for someone else to turn that handsome man into a handsome woman is very hard.
Wow. Okay, for the pageant answer. I'm right there with you though. I hate putting people in drag. I hate like giving input. I don't know if you get this as well, but like the number one question we get is like, I'm a new baby queen star. Like, what advice? Baby, I don't want to give advice. I don't want to help nobody get in drag.
Girl.
I know it's so like problematic to say. I'm a gatekeeping bitch. I don't want to talk about nothing I do.
And I'm like, bitch, at this point, there are so many resources with yourself in drag. Like, just like back when, when probably, I don't know when you started, when I started started to play in makeup in 2011, 2010, the only people online were Misty Eyes and Misty Maven. Misty Maven, Petrolude back in the day. This when Instagram was just becoming a thing, and she had a YouTube and she would like do her drag makeup. She was like a MAC makeup artist, so I would like trying to like, and she was way lighter than me. Like she's like, her and Naomi are probably similar colors. And I would like have to like look at what she was doing and try to like find the color shades for me that worked and try like that was just back then. Now pretty much every fucking drag queen has a tutorial online on YouTube. So if you really want to learn how to do makeup, bitch, go on YouTube and apply yourself. Like figure it out. If I could do it with just one person and just playing with now with the vast catalog of all shades, sizes, colors, species getting in drag, you can figure it out by yourself.
Do you feel like the up and coming queens all watching the same content tutorials to learn though is kind of what makes everyone look the same and like perform the same?
Yeah, well, you know what? It's very interesting. Like, you know, I mean, on your season, like you had, I think there were like a couple queens that started in COVID, like the Spice Girls. What's the name? No, Spice and
Sugar and Spice.
Sugar and Spice. And Marsha, right? Those are all girls that like started doing drag literally in a pandemic. So they literally could not go out and perform. So I think it's still, but you look at but Marsha, the difference with her is that she comes from a theater background. So she was a performer. She was used to being on stage performing for people. And that translates. Whereas the Sugar and Spice Girls, they never really performed for people. And that came across in their talent shows and when they lip sync. Like it was so different. So I think stage time is really important. And I really, in my heart of hearts, thinks that drag is one of the art forms that you can only learn like on the job. Like if you are not coming from performing or theater or whatever, you need to do drag and you need to perform on stages and perform for people to get better at it. You cannot do that by just watching videos. You can learn makeup like that, but you will not learn how to be a good performer and an entertainer just watching videos. You have to do it.
What do you think is the most like important aspect of drag? Do you think performing is like more important, or do you think the look is more important?
I think today it's equal. It's 50-50. Like in terms of in today's culture, the look is so important. It's important if you want to, because now you can be a whole fully functioning queen by just being on social media. Sugar and Spice, they had a whole following and they would get brand deals and they were making money and coins by just because they were on TikTok. So I think the look is important. But I think that if you want to be a drag queen, you have to be a good entertainer. We're not satisfied with just you looking pretty. Okay, that's fine. Bitch, I want to see you perform. And then I'm really going to give you your flowers or your kudos. Or you really going to be my sister if you get on that stage and you give me a good old hair flip and a spoken word or just a fucking Kennedy Davenport bucking track and you turn my pussy out, then I can respect you. If you want to be a drag queen, so if you want to be a drag queen for just somebody on Instagram or TikTok, I'm sure they just want you to look pretty. I want you to be an entertainer.
So if you're at a show, what's gonna make you tip someone $1? What are you looking for in a drag queen performing?
Oh, I'm looking for because I am a New York queen, I love me a good old spoken word. If you can give me a funny mix, like something that's so unexpected that I'm not seeing, that I'm not thinking is gonna come through this number, like I'm good. And also, this is no shade, but can we please retire the Let It Go fart numbers? People have been doing that since that fucking movie came out. I do not want to see any more Frozen Let It Go mixed with fart sounds. Like, we're over that. Maybe you can bring it back in like 20 more years. It's kind of like when that lady did that mix, the one who was in her hot room and it was too hot, and it was
oh my god, yeah,
that people mix that with we've seen it. We're good. Like, let's move on from the Frozen fart numbers. It's so tired. But I like a good comedy.
Have you ever done like a restaurant gig, like a Hamburger Mary's?
Yeah, so I started drag Like I really like it, between New York and Portland. But like right when I started drag in New York, I moved to Portland to work at Portland Opera, and there was a Hamburger Mary's that's no longer there downtown. That's when I started performing. Alexis Campbell Starr was the host there, and I used to perform there. I used to go and do little numbers just for tips pretty often when I lived in Portland.
Oh,
and
I love that.
Fried mac and cheese balls, bitch. I used to fucking inhale them bitches.
Nachi was doing a tip spot and getting paid in food.
Girl, and I was happy to do it too.
But no, I bring that up because like those comedy numbers, for instance, I remember one time. So before I was on Drag Race, my cast spot at my home bar was kind of the Hamburger Mary's in Houston, and our Hamburger Mary's is very, very different than the other Hamburger Mary's across the U.S. Like our Hamburger Mary's is like a huge theater. And there would be like hundreds of people eating, and like there would be girls coming out and doing like feces mixes, and while people are eating, I'm like, girl, y'all better get it together, because I would go full Karen mode if I was one of these customers.
I could not believe that. I mean, if it's funny enough and you're subverting enough, I think there is a way to make that work.
While you're eating. No. Okay, yeah. Now I see why you were kicking with Selena, because Selena has a little fetish like that too. I'm starting to see why y'all are friends.
I am not kink shaming, but I am not into scat. I tell a story on Trixie and Conte's podcast about the time the dude shit on me. I am not into scat whatsoever.
Listen, so I saw you were having your conversations. Selena filled in on the Sibling Rivalry podcast. I saw y'all touch base a little bit on cruising. What's your background with cruising? Are you a cruising girl? Do you like it to be more like in the bedroom?
Oh no, in New York I used to cruise a lot. I mean, I don't cruise anymore, but I was a very big cruiser, especially like on the subway or like. And again, this was before. Like, so I mean, people know on my podcast on Sibling Rivalry, I've been talking about it. I've fucking since I was 12. Since middle school. So
oh my God.
Yeah, I've been having sex for a very long time.
That's given like Dr. Phil, like, I've been since I was 12 and my mama can't do nothing about it. So girl.
Yeah, so I've been for a really long time. So like in like high school and stuff, like I would literally go on my like lunch breaks from school, I would like go to like the glory holes in New York City. Like, cause they would let us
shut the
yes, they would let us out for lunch. Like we were able to go out for lunch and get your lunch for wherever you wanted. So like on my lunch break, I would literally go. My school was on 48th Street and 8th Avenue. There was an adult bookstore between 48th and 49th on 8th Avenue. And I would just like sneak into there on my lunch breaks and like cruise guys there.
I cannot. That is absolutely ridiculous.
I know.
When the season before the season aired, after we had filmed Drag Race, we would all hang out when we were all in the same city, and that was the beginning of me and Selena going to every like cruising spot. And the thing is, I would go and never like do anything. I would just go to entertain the foolishness. And I remember like before the show, we would go and there would be so many people and it would be the fool. But then as soon as Drag Race aired, we would be there. Someone's getting their sucked and they'd be like, oh, Mistress, and I'm like, goodbye.
Okay, wait. When you say cruising spots, like are these outside or like in bars?
But I mean, so like we go to the parks. Like
word.
What is it in LA? What is it? Poinsettia Park.
Poinsettia Park. Yes.
I love going there. That shit is so funny. One time we went and we would go, I'm not even being funny, and we would literally spend hours there just tormenting people. And the last time we went, the police raided the place. Girl, Selena had my fat ass jumping over fences. That was the last time we went. Oh
my God. Not Selena have you in Poinsettia Park. I mean, I'm new to LA. I've never cruised in LA. Well, I've been in LA for 3 years. I've never cruised in LA, but like not... I mean, I have cruised outside, but cruising outside is not super comfortable to me. Like, I would rather cruise inside somewhere, not outside. Then, bitch, you like kneeling down on sticks if you sucking like you. I don't know. I'm not an outside girl.
Baby, let me tell you this, for all my girls in LA who are visiting, the cruising spots in LA do not play. I'm not joking. When we go to the park, the few times I've went, there has to be at least like 70 people there. It is a ton of people there. And when you park your car outside the park, all you see is people coming and going in the middle of the night. It's crazy.
Are you joking? Really?
No, it's a lot. And they all will gather around. And It's like the experience is so funny. I actually was trying to make like a little documentary series on it, and me and Selena were recording when we went a few times, and people would get so mad, like put that camera away. I'm like, oh.
Well, also, and what do you mean you go to? I like how you be like, I would just go to entertain the bullshit, bitch. Were you getting your wet or nah?
No, I literally would go and we would just like cause trouble. Like I would be look, I am the type of girl if I'm with my friend in the hotel back in the day, if we were sharing a hotel room, I'm fine with you hooking up with someone. Like I'll let you do your thing. You know what I mean? So like if I'm with Selena or her other friend, our friend Mondo, we'll go and I'll let them do their thing. And you know, if they're giving or receiving, I'm just enjoying the ambiance. You know what I mean?
I can't.
I feel like you don't believe me. Well, you think I'm right there next to Selena? We're just.
I mean,
please.
I mean, maybe I don't know.
No, like I remember after the season aired and we would go. The last time we went to, they're doing their thing, and then this twink comes up to me, and I have never. Have you ever been into twinks? Are you into twinks?
Not typically, because twinks are normally too small, not unless you're like a very tall twink. But I typically do not go for guys smaller than me.
Okay, I am a big bitch. I have absolutely no business with a twink, and I'm sitting on the bench letting them do their thing, and people are. I'm literally not joking. I'm literally doing a meet and greet at the cruising park. There's like a line of people. We're taking pictures in the middle of the night. I'm not, and I truly wish I was joking.
That is hilarious.
There's a meet and greet at the cruising park. I'm doing my thing, and this twink runs up to me. He's like, Mistress, what can I do to fuck you? And I literally look at him and I go, no. And he was like, I was like, well, I'm into like more masculine men. Like I you know, two sissies can't. That's not gonna do it for me. And he was like, well, I could be manly. And I was like, just you saying that, don't even worry about it.
No, right.
And that was. That was the last time that I went to the park, and that was the same night the police raided and cleared.
Interesting. I just cannot. Well, she told us about how she got raided, or the fucking SWAT team checked her at the gym, and I just like.
Okay, I want y'all to really think about this. She had a run-in with the SWAT team, and she still goes to these parks and cruises.
That's
this
crazy.
Woman is deranged. She's not right in the head at all.
Since the show, I don't really send nudes. Like I have since the show, but I try not to. There are times where I just like I will because they won't send unless you send something. But typically, I can like figure out ways around it to still get what I need. But I try not to send nudes.
Not you saying you're catfishing them. She's like, I could figure a way or two.
Well, I will like normally send it, but I will like my head is never in the picture with a nude. Like my face is literally never in it, and I'll try to like do a pose where you don't see my tattoos, but I have one hand is full of them, so it typically means me taking a picture with the other hand and that hand not in the shot. If that makes sense. So what
do you think about our drag race? What do you think about our drag race sisters with OnlyFans? What do you think that's given?
I've never seen. I mean, I've never been on. I'm not interested in seeing sister porn, so I've never gone on their OnlyFans. I know they have them. Who has them? I think it's Sasha Belle, and who else?
Naomi Smalls.
Naomi Smalls does not have an OnlyFans.
Yes, she does.
Naomi does not have OnlyFans.
It's coming soon. I've been telling her to step up her social media game. I was like, we're gonna have to start the OnlyFans, and we're gonna make you internet famous again.
Oh my God, girl, Naomi does not need to be on the OnlyFans. Yeah, I think it's only Sasha Belle, right? Who the else has one?
There's a few, you know. I mean, I don't keep up with them, but I do see them.
I bet.
I know Candy Muse. Please.
Wait,
goodbye.
Candy Muse has one?
She's starting one, and she has the alt Twitter already. Like, you know, there's. Oh, let me find out you're trying to get with Candy Muse. She was talking about fat bellies earlier.
I mean, work as in she better get it. There is not a sister that I would want to be on her OnlyFans. I don't want to. I'm not interested in any sister's OnlyFans.
Just say you hate crossies.
You know, I've never hooked up with a trans woman before, but I would. I have yeah, as long as there's like a penis involved, I'm pretty into it. But I've never hooked up with a trans. I've never been approached by a trans woman sexually, but I think I would for sure. Absolutely.
Have you ever, like, before you like figured you were gay, like, did you ever hook up with a woman?
No, I've always known I was gay.
Really?
I was never once attracted to women sexually. I've been attracted to women platonically. Like, I've seen a very beautiful woman. I'm like, oh my God, I would love to kiss her, or I would love to like be like best friends with her because she's so beautiful. But sexually, I've never been attracted to a woman in that way.
That's so crazy. I can't believe that everyone, I feel like a lot of our sisters give that answer. People are like, literally all the girls were gagging that I have been with girls before. I mean, I consider myself gay, and I don't even think I'm like bisexual, but I feel like I'm a very open person. I could maybe like a little threesome with a girl, you know?
Got it. Okay. Wait, up until when were you having sex with women?
I mean, I probably think since I was like, I was fully gay, like realization, probably like 16.
So you were having sex with women before 16?
Like before like the realization of being gay.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Work. Did you date women like in high school?
Yeah.
Work.
Even though I was like fully a
You walking around like, clock that tea, honey.
No, literally. No, like literally.
Yeah, I had one girlfriend in high school, but we literally the only thing we did was kiss, and we went on like a school trip, and then she like wanted me to. She started like touching my leg, and I was like, oh shit, this is the moment. And then she like asked me to touch her boobs, and I told her no, thank you. And then she was like, "Oh, do you want to do something else later?" And I told her, "I don't think God will like that." And then that was my only experience getting close to even doing anything with a cis woman.
Did she literally be like, touch my boobs? You're like, no, thank you. Like, is that literally how it went?
Yeah, I was like, no, thank you. And she's like, well, do you want to like touch like something else? And I was like, no, I don't think God will like that. And then she's like, okay. And like till the next day.
Oh my God. I cannot. Have you ever like done like a nasty little gospel number on the show?
Oh yes. I used to do Encourage Yourself by Donna Lawrence. A lot of my show. I used to do One More Chance. One more chance. I should have been a druggie. I used to do that song a lot. I used to love some gospel numbers for sure.
Why do I feel like low-key you are a Texas queen? I see the Davenport in you, honestly.
The Davenports do church numbers? Is that a thing?
Baby, it's yes. The
Work.
Davenports are either doing a gospel number or doing like Get On Up and flipping their hair and split until their fucking legs break off.
I've always wanted to try a Get On Up. Obviously, I know the number. I've seen people do it, but I've never had the balls to myself participate in the Get On Up tradition.
I need you to go get that spray adhesive. We're going to make sure that wig sticks on, and you're going to do a nasty little dance number.
I'm down.
Okay, listen, we've been chatting for so long, so let's jump in the last little tidbits, you know? I cannot have Monet as a guest on the podcast without asking this. We're going to enter, like, so I'm going to give you some quick take questions. So just give the answer right off the top of your head. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Let's clear the rumors real quick though, because Bob the drag queen swears up and down that you helped me write my rap, and that's just untrue. This is actually our first conversation. Our first conversation is documented on this podcast.
Yeah.
So what would you say to Bob? Like, why does she think that you helped me write the rap? That's crazy.
I don't know. I have nothing but love for Bob, so it just really shocks me. He thinks that I would team up with someone for his demise, but I want to confirm and say it with that I did not help Mistress do with that rap at all. Mistress did that all completely by herself.
And I just find it really crazy that he would even bring that up, because Ocean Kelly ghost wrote his entire rap against me. She even DM'd me. So it's just like, it's kind of confusing that I feel like people really he's just deflecting, and I have to, it's just disgusting. But with that being said, who do you think won the rap battle? You could be honest. Like, who was given what?
I think that Mistress is one of my favorite queens, but Bob really did eat a lot in that rap. Bob got you, sis. Bob ate it up. He ate it up.
Bob had cleared. It was. But you know, we need a round two.
Though. Yours is really good. But Bob,
you're like Bob clear, but you were good too.
You were good too. But Bob ate it up.
You know, I will give it to her. She won the rap battle, but I think I'm gonna win the boxing match. I'm ready to this. We just need to get into it. I'm ready to this. You don't gotta talk about it if you are about it. I don't need no more talking. Let's just, when I see her face to face, we're gonna handle it how it needs to be handled.
Who do you think there needs to be a drag girl celebrity boxing match forever, and I would be so down. Come on, Voss events.
That would be so.
Come on, John Norris, Brandon, get it together.
Well, I'm gonna start hosting it. I'm gonna put it together.
Girl, I'm down. Tell Brandon and John, get their asses out of that motherfucking apartment and get the shit going.
Okay, in a physical fight, who do you think will win, me or Bob?
In a physical fight? Okay, here's the thing. So my boyfriend is like a weightlifter. My boyfriend is like a gym rat. And him and Bob, they often do, what's that thing when you like put your hands together and you like try to get the other person to say mercy? And Bob beats him every time. So I don't know, girl. Bob is like freakishly strong. It's kind of weird.
You know, I'm not even gonna lie. I know I would get my ass beat. But the thing is, I know I'm also crazy. I don't play fair. Like what I would do is we'd have to wear boxing gloves, but I would put some like pins and needles in my gloves. Like I'm playing dirty. God. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to get my lick back. I'm sorry. So warn your friend. I'm ready to go. Okay, I'm gonna throw some names out to you. You tell me who you think will win in a fight. Okay. Mm-hmm. You versus Silky Nutmeg Ganache.
Me. I would destroy Silky.
Really? The lip sync assassin, you would destroy her?
I would destroy Silky. I will pulverize Silky.
Okay, Eureka O'Hara versus Silky Nutmeg Ganache.
Ooh. I think Silky, when them little feet start moving, I think Silky might have that one.
Sugar versus Spice. Who do you think's clearing?
Oh, Sugar. Sugar got a little more crazy in her eye. Have you ever seen Sugar look into a camera? She has so much crazy in there. I think Sugar's taking it.
Naomi Smalls versus Violet Chachki.
Oh, Naomi. Violet is a lot of mouth. Violet is 80% mouth, 10% back, and 10% bite. Okay, I think that now when they send this to her, she clears us both. I don't want to hear nothing. I love Violet Chachki.
When we were doing the rehearsals for Work the World, I was outside of this dance studio in LA, and her and Gottmik pulled up because there was like a laundromat, like a tailoring service next to it, which I assumed they were going to. But they pull up in this back alley next to this dance studio, and they're staring at me out of drag. And I'm literally looking at them in their car, just talking about me. And I'm looking at them like, do they know who I like? Do they realize who I am out of drag? Because also the show was like just airing. And they talk for like 5 minutes and are pointing and staring, and then they just fucking drive off. And I never mentioned it or anything. They talked about it on their podcast a few weeks ago, and I was like, that is absolutely ridiculous.
Wait, what did they say on the podcast?
That they got nervous and didn't know if they should say hi, and they were just like talking about me. And they were like, she probably thinks we're weirdos. And I was gagging because I didn't realize that they knew what was happening. Like I didn't know that they knew that I saw them. It was, girl, but I love Violet. I am always a stan of the bitchy girls who could back it up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Violet is all of those things. She is bitchy, she is and she does back it up.
And she's sickening.
Yeah.
Okay, last 3 speed round questions. Answer as fast as you can. Let's get into it. Okay, these are fan submitted questions, so don't hold me liable. But let's clock that tea one last time, okay? Number 1, is your ass real? Is it BBL, ass shot, silicone? What's the tea?
My ass is 100% real. I have never had anything injected change with my ass. My ass is how I was born with it. 1,000%.
Okay, that's giving like Kim Kardashian answer. I've never had anything injected.
What else is there? I have never, my ass has never been manipulated in any way. Injected, pressed, like I don't know what else to say.
Okay, what's the last thing you stole?
Ooh, last thing I stole was when I was 22. I stole a CoverGirl liquid liner from Target, and I got clocked, and they brought me to the back room, and they took my picture, and they said I can never go to that Target ever again.
Oh, not your banned from that Target. Have you gone back since?
I sure have.
Oh wow. Now when I tag Target Corporate and they get you together, then what?
Imagine.
Okay, the last question. This was the most asked, and I have to give the girls what they want. So answer as truthfully as possible. Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Who f***ed Monet?
Who f***ed Monet? Most recently, my boyfriend.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me. I had such a great time talking to you. Baby, we cut the up.
This was so fun, girl. Thank you for having me. I wish you much success on your podcasting journey. I've been on this journey for 6-7 years now, and I love podcasting because, I feel like you like to talk, and we like to talk to people, and I think this is going to be a great outlet and an avenue for you, and I can't wait to see it grow and get bigger and better, and good luck to you, babes.
Thank you, babe.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and, we'll be back soon to clock that tea. Bye!
Bye.
Ooh! I cannot believe y'all sat through that entire podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm telling y'all, I'm sitting on some really good content. If you enjoyed this week's video, this week's Mistress Monday, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I know it was a little bit out of the ordinary, but hopefully you enjoyed it just as much as the other videos. Follow me across all social media because, baby, I always pop in with some shenanigans. I love you so much. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time.